short sketches that show the other side of ourselves.
My trouble is, I'm named Bernard. Who made it my name? Did I make it my name? I had hostile parents, and they named me Bernard. Is that my fault? Okay, Bernard is a fine name for other people. But all my life, when I was out on the street and people called me, Bernard! I thought they were talking to somebody else. And when I realized it was me, I felt disappointed. I just can't identify with the name. Inside, I'm all different from a Bernard. If you could see me on the inside, you wouldn't recognize me from seeing me on the outside. You should see me when I'm by myself. The me on the inside begins to flower and come alive. And then somebody comes along and says, Bernard. And it remembers who I am and gets crushed. I know I'd be different if only people called me by my inside name, Spike.
Why must it go on, men? All this fighting, all this violence.
Someday there'll be a town here, Tessie. And there'll be a church. And there'll be a school. And there'll be law. And there'll be horseless carriages. And there'll be factories. And there'll be air pollution. And there'll be alienation. And there'll be dropouts. And there'll be violence. That's what we're fighting for, Tessie. A heritage.
All right, it's not like I committed a crime, is it?
It's just so hard to believe.
Well, it's not like I did something wrong, is it?
It's just so hard to believe.
You wanted me to confide in you. Are you sorry now?
No, it's just so hard to believe. Tell me again.
I've never been to Europe.
I used to work for the FBI, assigned to the New Left, underground agent to check out communist infiltration. All pretty routine, demonstrating, disrupting, occupying. Then I met Fred. Soft, compelling, doctrinaire. He fell in love. I fell in love. We decided on marriage. But my secret separated us. I had to tell him. I proceeded to do so. On our wedding night, I reported, Fred, I'm an underground agent for the FBI. Fred wept. Then he told me his secret. Sue, he reported, I'm an underground communist assigned to infiltrate the New Left. Oh, you can imagine what followed. A lover's quarrel. I insisted Fred give up his work. He insisted I give up mine. We consulted a marriage counselor who advised us. All forms of extremism are misguided, he reported. Quit your respective jobs and join a community center. I couldn't. Fred couldn't. We said goodbye. And I turned him in. Oh, I'll always wait for you, Fred. A dance to the loss of innocence. In this dance, I have symbolized youth, its hopes, its wishes, its dreams, its choice of friends, of lovers, of gods. Youth, bright and eager to search about dancing?
I will sing one of the great blended songs of my people. To the note here, as sung in the original ethnic. It is being sung by a farmer to his land as he plants the new year's crops. And the farmer sings, this year is my year, this year I'll make it. And the land sings back, fat chance. And the farmer sings, I've got to fall my reading, build me a high five, buy a museum membership. This year will be different. And the land sings back, where are you, king? And the farmer sings, I'll be creative. I'll start on that novel, build a mosaic coffee table. And the land sings back, why don't you grow up? You'll feed me forever. This is followed by a wild circle dance on the knees. In my country, this can go on for many years.
Harold Swerd could hit a baseball farther than anyone.
Boy.
Boy. Harold Swerd could kick a football farther than anyone.
Wow.
Wow. Harold Swerd could run the mile faster than anyone. On your mark, get set, go. Harold Swerd could do anything, only he wouldn't. Baseball and football magnates came to Harold Swerd.
Sign with us. You'll have money, status, glory.
Girl! Track and field magnates came to Harold Swerd. They said,
Sign with us. You'll have lots of banquets, free transportation, a jacket with your name on it.
girls! And to all of them, Harold Swerd replied,
No,
he just wanted to go on making his living as a filing clerk.
I don't like the sports business. I like the filing clerk business. The sports business doesn't present a challenge. The filing clerk business presents a challenge. Someday, I may even make bookkeeper.
So the baseball magnates and the football magnates and the track and field magnates all got together. They issued a press release.
Break!
Harold Swerd won't play the game. The people read the press release and said,
Any man won't play the game means he's against the game. And if he's against the game, he's against fair play. And if he's against fair play, he's against our way of life. Boo!
to all of which Harold Swerd replied,
Leave me alone!
and that is where matters seemed to settle. Then the new Olympic Games were announced. Russia was to have its greatest team ever. It had someone who could hit a baseball farther than anyone. It had someone who could kick a football farther than anyone. It had someone who could run the mile faster than anyone. On the march, listen, go. negative.
Break! No!
Who returned with the message? He said no. Oh. So they checked his loyalty file.
Break!
File. He's never belonged to anything.
Anything?
Anything.
And that seemed to be the answer. Harold Sword was just not interested in belonging.
File.
The Secretary of State went to see Harold Sword.
You must belong. Everyone belongs to something. Not me.
It is the rule of a democracy that the majority decides. The majority has decided they want you to play in the Olympics. Do you want to crumble our foundation?
I just want to be left alone.
Oh.
Break! Harold Sword is a foundation crumbler.
Congress threatened to draft Harold Sword into the Olympics. Finally, there came a special appeal from the president.
You want us to lose?
So that's what's bothering everybody. What's wrong with losing? It's only a game.
Everyone was thrown into confusion.
Losing is just the other side of winning. Somebody has to do it. Don't listen. Don't listen.
The public expressed outrage. They booed.
Go home, swear! Go home, swear! Go home, swear!
They hissed.
Home, swear, swear! Home, swear, swear! Home, swear, swear!
They burned Olympic torches on his lawn. Then one day, just when matters were at their hottest, Harold Sword came away from his filing cabinet and said,
All right, I'll play.
the country was electrified.
Swear will play! Swear will play! Swear will play!
Both political parties claimed credit.
We love our Harold.
The first event was who could hit a baseball the farthest. The Russian people's farthest hero hitter, Smedyakov, went first. 912 feet, 6 inches. Harold Sword went second. "912 feet, 6 inches. The next event was who could kick a football the farther. The Russian people's hero kicker, Brozhnikovsky, went first. Oh, good. 310 yards, 4 feet, 1 inch. Harold Sword went second. "310 yards, 4 feet, 1 inch. Grumblings of discontent began to murmur through the crowds. The last event was who could run the mile the fastest. Harold Sword's opponent was Hero's fastest runner, Ale Chavelshku. On your mark, get set, go. Go, Harold, go! Go! Tie. Harold Sword was called before the judges.
Harold Sword, you were not giving your all. I certainly was. Then why didn't you win? Winning doesn't take my all. Equaling takes my all. How's that? How's that? Let's see you tried to kick a football exactly 310 yards, 4 feet, 1 inch. It was quite a challenge. I wasn't sure I could do it.
But the judges didn't quite understand.
Anybody who wants any records equal, come on around.
But nobody came around because no one is interested in having records equaled. So they just let Harold Swerve alone, which is exactly the way he wanted it.
Ever since I was a little kid, I didn't want to be me. I wanted to be Billy Wilton. But Billy Wilton didn't even like me. I walked like he walked. Yeah, I talked like he talked. I signed up at the high school he signed up for, which is when he changed. He began to hang around with Herbie Vanderman. He walked like Herbie Vanderman. He talked like Herbie Vanderman. He mixed me up. Here I am walking and talking like Billy Wilton, walking and talking like Herbie Vanderman. And then it dawned on me that Herbie Vanderman walked and talked like Corky Sanderson, who walks and talks like Joey Haviland. So here I am walking and talking like Billy Wilton's version of Herbie Vanderman's imitation of Corky Sanderson, walking and talking like Joey Haviland. And you know who Joey Haviland walks and talks like? Of all people, don't be little Kenny Wellington. The little pest who walks and talks like me. Florence!
Yes, Henry?
How long has it been now since we were married?
What? 6 years? 7? When exactly was it, Henry?
Well, let's see. Was it before or after I Love Lucy came on?
I think it was between I Love Lucy and the Danny Thomas Show. Isn't that right, Henry?
Oh, yeah. Because I still remember the night of our first anniversary. I still warm at the glow of it, Florence.
Yeah, Mary Martin, Peter Pan.
Then shortly after that, our little Wendy was born.
Oh, I remember. Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Those were beautiful years, Florence.
Where do you think it began to go wrong, Henry?
Well, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about it. Do you think it was Gunsmoke?
I wish I knew. Or maybe it was Have Gun, Will Travel. It just never was the same after Paladin and Marshall Dillon, Henry.
Oh, don't cry, Florence. I guess everything changes when violence enters your life.
I don't believe I can ever forgive Peter Gunn, Henry.
Don't cast blame, my darling. Reality is cruel. I learned that from the Untouchables.
I didn't know life could be that way. Are we ready for that sort of world, Henry?
Ready or not, we must face it bravely.
And Wendy? What about our Wendy, Henry?
Wendy too, Florence. Wendy too.
What's on next?
Bonanza.
I'll go bring her in.
Good evening. Larry Charm here to talk sense to the American people. A lot of you have been asking me lately, Larry, why should I vote for you, a movie star, for public office? That's a very good question. Let me answer it as honestly as I know how. No other industry has dealt more responsibly with America's basic problems than the motion pictures. This is my record. In 1948, in Flames Over Tokyo, I opposed Lionel Barrymore in his attempt to downgrade our air arm. In 1945, in Leathernecks on Parade, I begged Brian Dunleavy not to limit our ground forces. In 1943, in the Candy Store Jungle, I proved to Jane Wyman the connection between poverty and crime. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not new to these problems. In 1938, John Doe goes to town, I prove to an innocent June Allison that you can't do business with communists. True, ladies and gentlemen, I am a star. But is the age-old Hollywood approach to our basic problems any different than the present approach of the President of the United States? In these troubled times, might not my greater experience be of immeasurable help? Thank you. Please. Vote for me. Vote for me is a vote for democracy. Thank you.
So once there were 5 million people unemployed.
You kidding?
So some people said, let's start a public housing program. Only that could mean government interference. So some people complained. So anyway, they didn't do it.
Golly.
So then some people said, let's build new schools. Only that could mean government interference. So some people complained. So anyway, they didn't do it.
Golly.
So then there was this train, and one day by accident, it let go a big bomb.
Did it go boom?
No, it went Barbarossa.
Boy, this is getting good.
And it left a big giant hole, and they had to hire a lot of people to fill it. And that gave them an idea.
What?
They started an accidental bomb dropping program.
They were great.
And soon everybody was working, filling holes.
Hot dog.
And everybody lived happily ever after.
You mean some people didn't complain?
No, Toby. Nobody complains about national defense.
Oh. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's wonderful. Oh, God, it's wonderful.
Dear God. Dear God.
God, 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 God. Oh.
God.
God,
God.
God.
Joyce, are you all right?
Wonderful.
Me too. Wonderful.
Just wonderful.
Joyce,
Yes, darling.
Joyce, I love you. Joyce, are you crying?
Yes, I'm crying. Oh, Bernard, why did you have to spoil it?
Greed. Greed.
Greed is good.
Greed leads to wealth.
Greed leads to happiness.
If everybody who went to bed hungry tonight,
Woke up greedy tomorrow.
Poverty and hunger would be on the way out.
worldwide greed is our creed. We're just sentimental fools. Envy.
Envy. Envy has given me a sense of purpose.
A motive to compete, to drive, to climb to the top.
If I didn't have envy, I wouldn't have power, and I wouldn't be envied.
Anybody else whose sense of purpose
Motivates them to compete with me and climb to the top.
Trust envy. It makes the system work.
Fraud.
parties are a fraud.
Friends are a fraud. Work is a fraud. Faith is a fraud.
Love.
Love.
When you get together with one other person,
You guard yourselves against fraud,
envy,
greed.
love.
I greet the world with a smile. Hello, world. You know, I used to think you were my enemy, but I was wrong. And then I thought you were my friend, but I was wrong again. So I researched, and I read up, and I talked to all my intelligent friends. Now I know where you stand, world. You don't even know I exist, world. As long as you stay neutral, I stand a chance.